The County Board of Commissioners voted 4-3 to delay a resolution regarding the new Youth and Family Support Center, specifically about when to start moving juveniles in.
6 News' Joe Harris shows us what went into that decision.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-3.
Tuesday, the Douglas County Board of Commissioners decided to delay a vote on a measure that would keep juvenile offenders at the current Douglas County Youth Center longer. Commissioner Roger Garcia says they're currently scheduled to move into the new 64-bed detention facility in downtown Omaha by December 1st. But a resolution would delay that until the number of those incarcerated in the youth center is down to 52 for at least 6 consecutive months. Some members question what good pushing back the board's vote would do.
Average daily population of the youth center for the last 12 months is 71. Today's population is 66. It has never, ever been 52. And if you think in the next 60 days it's going to be 52, you're ignoring reality.
Commissioner P.J. Morgan put forward the motion to delay today's vote.
And it isn't something that's costly if we delay it or harms anything. I think what Commissioner Boyle said is exactly right. On that date, we're going to make a decision in the best interest of the youth.
Some of those who spoke during the hearing say getting the incarceration numbers down is not in the best interest of public safety.
My daughter was murdered. There are 5 criminals involved with that. All of them grew up in the judicial system or in the juvenile system that a lot of you are responsible for. Now, Douglas County's growing. It's not getting smaller. Wouldn't we need more beds?
Garcia says the resolution sponsors do not want to pressure judges to sentence less kids.
We know that in some circumstances, kids don't need to be there. I agree with that 100%, especially if they're scoring lower on the assessment that we have for detention.
Law enforcement has long voiced concern that the new detention facility's capacity isn't enough and that it could result in arresting agencies having to find lockups for juveniles outside the area. Resolution sponsors say they want to avoid running 2 facilities, which they say would cost around $3 million more a year and require 35 extra staff. On your side, Joe Harris, 6 News.
The Board of Commissioners will now decide on the resolution August 8th.
Last night,